What's up, everyone? Welcome to the Power Play with CJ. I just read an article by Larry Brooks of the New York Post, one of the best hockey writers in the business, for my money. Talking about James Dolan entering the James Dolan, principal owner of MSG, Rangers, Knicks, one of the key figureheads in ending the NBA lockout this time last year. What he wants in and ending this lockout. He has kind of a sour relationship with Bettman, which I think might be the best thing for this negotiation. I think it shows the players that the owners aren't really united. I think Ed Snyder a couple of weeks ago, it was leaked out, he wants this to end. He's willing to compromise. But then you get the hardline owners like Jeremy Jacobs, the guy in Minnesota, there's a couple other ones that, want major concessions for the players. But then you guys like Dolan and Snyder that are willing to meet them halfway, which is what you need in negotiation. You really can't have two hardline stances. I mean, there has to be some compromise by both sides, and the owners have shown no willingness to do so. And I think by having Dolan involved, he played a critical role in ending the NBA lockout. And I know that the key thing is going to be, he speaks to the big market teams. The CBA that came out of the new NBA that last year, it hasn't come at the expense of small market teams. You look at, I'd say Oklahoma City's kind of an exception because Durant and Westbrook and those boys all fell to them, but those teams will be okay. It protects those markets while allowing the big markets, flexibility, and I think that's what he's going to do. I think if he takes a similar approach, and I think the fact that he has kind of a bad relationship with Bettman really makes him more trustworthy to the players, which is, I think, a big thing. I think if Bettman's smart, he'll let him in. They'll put the personal differences aside and work towards a common goal, because having Jeremy Jacobs involved is really just blowing up the structure. It's really and truly sickening to know the man that deprived Boston Bruins fans of a Stanley Cup in the early 90s, or multiple Stanley Cups for that matter, is holding up there being hockey. This guy is worth 9 figures. But like I said, for me as a fan, is it disheartening not to watch hockey every night? Yeah, but for the people that depend on the NHL for livelihood, that's who needs a voice in this. I'm actually going to do a piece later on today about why I think the federal government should step up and go beyond just mediations, but we'll talk about that later on. I'll do a piece either tonight or tomorrow on that, but there's so many people that depend on this, and like I said, if Dolan can get a deal done like he did last year with the NBA, by all means, send him in. This has to get done. We're really racing the clock for there being a season. If there can be a 50-game season, great. But, you're talking, it's going to take a week to get a deal done if they start talking now. Because, like I said, I think at the beginning, they should have just stayed in rooms and talked. If it meant 2 weeks locked in a room without showers and having room service, who cares? Get a deal done. There's been, the owners have been this hardline stance, and I think that's what's holding up the process. And if Dolan's willing to come up with a compromise that favors both sides, do it. That's all I got in this episode of the Power Play with CJ on James Dolan of the New York Rangers wanting to step in the NHL lockout, according to an article by Larry Brooks. Stay tuned for more episodes throughout the lockout and beyond. Later, guys.